When it comes to the question of internal marketing, we have to think a lot today. COVID-19 has given us a very difficult world. Economy is totally in a disastrous situation and jobs are going to be lost. But there are few people who are going to retain the job, and for them, how management is going to do the internal marketing is definitely a challenge. And we have to understand that this challenge will remain for at least few months or maybe 1 or 2 years. So what I'm talking about survivor syndrome. Those people who will be surviving in the industry, how they are going to face the situations and what would be their psychology is definitely a concern. So survivor syndrome is a psychological condition where workers feel anxiety, guilt, and uncertainty about surviving a round of cuts while other competent people, some of whom might be their close friends, were laid off. Workers need security. Their productivity and maybe even employers' ability to retain them depends on how firmly they believe the company is going to be all right, their jobs are going to be safe, and their career is on track. So today's situation, or maybe today's scenario, is very difficult. In this situation, we can find those who will be retained by the organizations, they might have some problems, like they might be having some psychological disturbances like immature or impulsive behavior, medical and behavioral health issues, hypertension, upset and anger, unacceptable disruptive behavior at workplace even. So my dear friends, job loss doesn't lead to any good feeling. So the depression will automatically be there. So in this situation, the morale of the employee will be low. So what the organization should look? The organization should always identify people who are in low morale and they should be working on. So poor morale is definitely a contagious issue. So it may be with one disastrous or maybe disastrous situation, but employees, those who will be facing poor morale or those who will be living in poor morale, they are never going to be productive. So to have a productive employee, an organization should always identify some strategies. And what the strategies are going to be. And these strategies are definitely going to be part of the internal marketing. So the manager must come forward and inject some of the following employees' situations or maybe strategies where employees can feel they're safe and they're secure and they are motivated to perform. First, managers should try its best to inject something so that employees will start believing themselves. Second, they should feel a sense of control over their job, over their family life, and over their social life also. So employees should have the opportunity to perform. They should be given the opportunity to perform. They should be given the opportunity to perform in a different form so that they create themselves or that they can create something different also. That means you have to believe your employees. And seeing that once efforts are helping them, employees may start progressing and they will start looking at themselves worthy employees. So most important thing is that the employees should start feeling they have the self-esteem, organization require them, they should have a sense of belonging to the organization, they should treat it as one of the individuals very much required by the organization also. And the last thing is that the employer should know that if they treat the employees perfectly, then only the employer will get the right reciprocation, and probably the people who are going to work for the organization in the future will be perfectly performing. So what the employer should be? This might be a leadership issue, But I can tell you that internal marketing does address some of the leadership issues also. So what the employers or what the manager should be in this very difficult time frame? First, they should be transparent. They should solicit employees' help. They should deliver any kind of bad news or any kind of wrong thing what happens in the world in a very sensitive manner. Or maybe then next they should know their employees and the situation they are facing. Before starting any work, they should talk to their employees. They should start contacting them more. Most important thing is that they should give the employees an assurance that the future is safe, and in this future both employer and employee can work together. So I might be sounding very ambitious, but these are very little things, very insignificant things might be for you. But when it comes to working in an organization, ensuring that the difficult times has to be there to manage, these are very pertinent words, and we have to give attention to. So my dear friends, under this normal situation, things could have been different. But now we are going to face an extraordinary situation. Post COVID-19, how the employees should be managed is a bigger issue. So in the current situation, we have to understand that the employees should recapitulate a sense of purpose in their job and the confidence in the future of the organization. They should engage some of the programs with self-motivation or enthusiasm, confidence and loyalty within the organization and cope with the stress and anxiety. They should have clarity and they should try to define their career goals also. And they should provide an insight to management and help the organization to determine how they can help to come out of this problem and help the organization to create what the organization was or the organization is today. So these are the things the organization and the employees should work together. Most important thing at last I can tell you that in this current period, survival symptoms can only be controlled if we talk to each other. If employer and employees talk, they communicate frequently, and they should have a common minimum program to progress. So maybe as I sound the world might be a political common minimum program, but this common minimum program will give a lot of confidence to both sides to fight against the odd days or maybe the difficult days we are going to face maybe in the next few months